On this week's episode of Stompbox Saturday, we check out the new Zapped Up Yours distortion from Bootlegger Guitar. Hey friends, what's going on? It's your old pal Sean Pierce Johnson here, and welcome back to Stompbox Saturday. Hope you all had an awesome week and are ready for a brand new pedal demo. Now here on the channel, we're no stranger to Bootlegger Guitar. We've looked at plenty of their guitar designs and even recently took a look at their Blues 1530 amplifier. If you want to check out any of those videos, you can find links in the description below or in the card at the top right corner of your screen. But now they are getting into pedals, and the Zapped Up Yours is one of two new offerings in addition to a tube overdrive pedal, which hopefully we'll take a look at in the near future. There's a little bit to unpack with this one, not too much that we won't be, we'll be here talking about specs forever, but let's go ahead and throw a clear picture of that pedal up on the screen, and let's dive into the controls and get to how this thing sounds. Level, distortion, bass, middle, treble, and the addition of a middle frequency control. Nothing too out of the ordinary, but it is very cool to see a middle frequency control. That basically means we'll be able to tune in or dial out any sort of mid-frequency that might be causing a problem, or we want a little bit more of a boost of in order to get a specific type of sound. And all of this gets a little bit of extra juice from an Electro-Harmonix 12AT7 preamp tube. Now the only caveat with this pedal is that it's gonna take between 15 and 18 volts in order to power the entire circuit. Luckily, the pedal does come with a power supply, so you won't need to go hoping and wishing that your pedal board power supply can do it. Now, the pedal board power supply that I'm gonna be using today, the Rockboard Power Pit, has a 15 and 18 volt switchable output. I'm gonna leave it in the 18 volt position for just that little extra bit of headroom and juice. I gotta say, the artwork on this is absolutely hilarious. Definitely brings to mind some sort of like Mad Magazine counterculture comic stuff from like the 60s and 70s. Not your mainstream kind of comic stuff coming out of Marvel or DC. This is decidedly different. In addition to the counterculture comic book art, we also have these cool purple aluminum knobs. However, there are other colors of these knobs that Chuck is stocking and you can choose from. Blue, red, orange, yellow. Just check out the website. Go ahead, peruse through, and if you have any questions about it, Chuck is incredibly easy to get a hold of, and he'll be happy to get you the pedal that you want. And with that, we might as well get into how this thing sounds. The first thing I want to show you is the middle and the middle frequency controls. We're just going to set the distortion, bass, and treble and level at one particular point, and then we're going to sweep the middle and the middle frequency controls so that you can see how interactive those controls are. We're going to use my Gibson Les Paul and plug into the Hughes & Kettner Black Spirit 200, a tube distortion pedal going into a non-tube amplifier. I think that's a good combination to check this thing out. wish there were more distortion pedals out there with this middle and middle frequency control pairing. To me, mid-range is the most important frequency spectrum for the electric guitar. It influences the cleanliness or dirtiness of our guitar tone and can often be used to shape sound in a way that bass and treble alone just can't do. Now let's explore a few different sounds and really push this thing to its limit. This first sound makes the Zapped Up Yours distortion sound like a really cool honky mid-range fuzz pedal. Let's take a listen. Little did I realize when this pedal arrived that one of my favorite sounds would be something that I could use to cop the Mick Ronson tone. You know, like Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust era Bowie stuff. Man, as soon as this sound was dialed in, all I wanted to do was play from Ziggy Stardust. So let's check that out. this setting, I'm going for my distortion sound, something that I can easily do rhythm work and lead work in the context of my band Cockeyed Optimist. But I love this extra little grunginess that the Zapped Up Yours adds to the sound. It's not as clean or as natural sounding as, say, an amplifier, but it has a little special sauce thing that I really enjoy. Now here's a sound that, although it doesn't have a whole lot of distortion in it, sounds really good with my Jennings Navigator. But the real kicker of this sound for me is how I can use the EQ to dial out the twang, give it a hefty amount of thump, and really give it some meat in the mid-range. And that, my friends, is our look and listen to the Zapped Up Yours distortion pedal from Bootlegger Guitar. You know, we don't see tube pedals a whole lot anymore. At this point, the Ibanez Tube King, the BK Butler Tube Driver, those are legendary. And the real only new releases I've seen from tube pedals have been from Kingsley, and they're a bit more boutique and a bit higher class. Maybe not as attainable for some of us. This, easily attainable, just under 200 bucks, includes the power supply, and sounds really, really cool. I personally love this grunginess that this pedal has. It's not like an amp in a box distortion. It's definitely got a distortion pedal vibe. But the thing that really does it for me is that the EQ is very wide ranging. You can really do a whole lot thanks to this middle and middle frequency pairing. But the bass and the treble have a whole lot of range to them as well. And I feel like I was able to get sounds that range from mild overdrive to like honky mid fuzz. It was a whole lot of fun to test this pedal out. The one thing that I think is a shortcoming of this pedal, though, is that it doesn't do low gain great. It does pretty good, but even on lower distortion settings, this thing is still pretty saturated. But for a rocker like me, is that a problem? No, it's not. I'm still gonna be having fun riffing and soloing and just having a grand old time playing guitar. And at the end of the day, that's the most important thing. We need to have fun playing guitar. And with that in mind, friends, I want to thank you so much for spending part of your weekend with me. I hope you enjoyed this look at the Zapped Up Yours distortion pedal, and if you did, there's a few things you can do. Give it a thumbs up, share a link to this video with a guitar playing friend of yours, and of course, click the subscribe button and ring the notification bell when you see it so you never miss any of the video uploads. Stay tuned for some announcements on the relaunch of my Patreon page coming very soon. And until next time, my friends, I'm Sean Pierce Johnson, wishing you all watching great tone, great health, and of course, happy stomping. Cheers, friends. I'll see you in the future. God bless.